Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. Today's video is a quick recap of OTA 7. Yes, it's already 7 OTAs in. And just like the theme of the first OTA, today the team was back in the red zone. Back in the red zone and making plays, both on the offensive side and the defensive side. But I'm going to keep it offensive first. And there was one point in the 7-on-7 drills today that the New York Giants offense scored 4 straight touchdowns. 3 of those touchdowns going to Hodgins, Crowder, and Pimpleton. And when I mentioned Pimpleton, we remember we picked up Pimpleton last year. We thought that he could possibly be a spark on the special teams as a returner, but never really made his way onto the field. I believe he only dressed for 1 game, and we remember him from Hard Knocks, how he was able to make plays there, how the team liked him, the coaches liked him, but when it came to the numbers game as a receiver, he just couldn't make the team. And now that we have Pimpleton here, again, he didn't really get his shot last year. I remember the special teams coach talking about how good the guy was in practice, how you really couldn't get a hand on him in the returning game, but we never got a chance to see him on the field. And I think a lot of that has to do with versatility. This wide receiver room that we have this year is going to be very, very tough to crack. And with a guy like Pimpleton, he has to be able to show that he can do some things on offense as well as special teams. And if he can do all that, then he has a chance to make this squad. I think it's going to be a long shot for him, but I always root for the underdog. I love the story. And again, if he can bring a spark to the special teams, which has been lacking a lot for the past few years, I think I'm all for it. And I pretty much, I love to see it. I love to see it. But outside of the offense having a strong day, also the defense had a strong day. In an article by Dan Salomon, again, the media was not in the building today, so I relied a lot of this information, or I got a lot of this information off of Giants.com, articles written by Dan Salomon. And he was saying that, you know, the defense and the offense were trading big plays in certain parts of the practice. And one guy that had a pretty good day today was Bobby Okereke, the linebacker. He got his hands on 2 balls today. Was able to break up 2 passes, and you like to hear stuff like that because being that he was one of our top free agents that we picked up, we know that he's good as far as being a tackler, but he's also pretty much a piece that we've been missing, and that's a linebacker that can also cover in pass defense. And hearing that he was able to break up 2 passes today, that's a thumbs up for me. Again, the big story is who's going to be the guy next to Bobby Okereke as a starting inside linebacker. And I will say that I didn't hear much news about the linebackers today outside of Bobby Okereke, but I did hear that Micah McFadden also was able to get his hands on the ball today, was able to get an interception in practice. Also, Darnay Holmes was able to get an interception in practice today. Now, we all remember last year in training camp, Darnay Holmes had that record of 4 straight practices with an interception. Come to find out that Brian Dable was actually giving the defense or feeding the defense the plays prior to the snap. I don't remember how he was doing it, but he was doing it. But this is a new year. Darnay Holmes got himself an interception. I'm going to applaud Darnay Holmes for that interception. Now, also another name that we haven't heard much of so far in OTAs is Jashawn Corbin, running back out of Florida State. Pretty much spent the whole season last year on the practice squad. I remember doing research when we picked him up as an undrafted free agent last year. A versatile running back, good hands, also has some good vision when running the ball. And he's to see his name being mentioned today. He was able to catch 2 touchdowns today. One of those touchdowns being from Daniel Jones, and showing that he had good ball control, was able to do a toe tap into the end zone. These are things that you like to hear. Obviously, the elephant in the room is Saquon Barkley, and everybody has that feeling of course he's going to be back. But while we're waiting for him to get his situation, his deal negotiated and signed, you like to hear that these other running backs are making a name for themselves as well, because we never know how long this thing is going to drag out with Saquon Barkley. So to hear that Corbin is doing good and the rookie is doing good, and also the guys we had last year, Brightwell and Breda, these guys are doing good too. So, you know, if we have to go into training camp without a Saquon Barkley, I think these guys are going to get a lot of good reps that are going to be not only well-deserved, but needed in order to be that backup for Saquon Barkley when he eventually comes back. And then to round off practice, we had touchdowns from Slayton, David Sills, Jeff Smith, also Lawrence Cajun making a name for himself too in OTA 7. So it's going to be a quick recap. Shout out to Giants.com. And Dan Salomon for the article, bringing all that information, especially when the media is not in the building, not allowed access to the practices, to give us all that information. Because again, like you all know, I'm starving for this information, especially this time of the year where you don't have that many eyes on the practice, but you just want to know how the New York Giants are doing. So that's going to wrap up this recap, and I want to thank you guys for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.